What is up, everybody? So, we're here in December of 2020, and yes, we've survived this horrible year, but one of the good things about it being the end of the year is that we've sampled a lot of different cars. We review hundreds and hundreds of cars each year, and you know what? That also means that we have a large perspective on what is the best cars in each segment, and today we're going to be talking about the most popular segment now in the US market, the compact SUV segment, with the oh so popular RAV4, CR-V, Rogue, all of those vehicles, and we're going to talk about our top picks from this segment. So let's go ahead and get into it.
So like Mason said, having sampled throughout the course of the year just about everything in this entire segment, we have put together, I believe it's seven of our top picks in this segment. So we'll start out with, we'll kind of rank them, I guess. We'll start out with our 7th pick. That's going to be the Volkswagen Tiguan. Things we like about it, I think it has probably the best engine in the class. That turbo 4-cylinder that they use in all the Volkswagen and Audi products, that's a really A-plus engine, and you do get some of that German characteristic that is, usually reserved for luxury vehicles. You get that in the Tiguan. This is the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It's making 184 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. So those are pretty good numbers. The horsepower is down a little bit versus some of the competition. However, really you make up for it in torque, because that's definitely a much higher torque number than you're going to get with like a RAV4, for instance. And you can really feel that. That gives you a nice, sensation of acceleration.
Yeah, and another distinct kind of benefit over something like a RAV4 is, a RAV4 has a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine, and we've complained about it in several of the reviews that it's kind of loud and noisy. This is a really refined 2-liter engine, so the noise it makes, it just is very, hardly anything makes it into the cabin, and it just seems a very refined engine. Now for number 6, we'll talk about one of our most recent vehicles that we reviewed. This is just now hitting dealership showrooms the end of December, and this is the Ford Bronco Sport. Now I guess you could probably also put /Ford Escape, but the Bronco Sport, we put that on here because that really has the exterior design that I think stands out in this segment. That's really my favorite part about it, is that it looks like no other offering in this entire class, and definitely has that off-road rugged look that a lot of people are craving for.
So let's start off this review with the exterior design. Now, of course, you couldn't call it a Bronco if it didn't bear resemblance to the main Bronco, and this of course it does. You can tell that right up in the front. You have a very similar front design, which has a cool squared off look to it. Now, I do want to take a second to mention that it's not all about rugged looks. It does actually have some utility to back that up. So your ground clearance is going to be standard 7.8 inches, which is already on the upper end of the segment. All right, so counting our list down to number 5, we have the Subaru Forester. This is a really charming vehicle, a lot to like about it. Tons of space, lots of equipment. It's really a good value.
Of course, this is a Subaru, and this segment is very family focused. So they have thrown in their entire EyeSight safety suite across all of the trim levels.
And then up here at the very top, we have a feature that really stands out for the segment, and that is a panoramic sunroof. This is actually included standard on all but the base model, so that's certainly, like I said, a really standout feature, since many of the rivals don't offer a large sunroof option.
And once inside of this Forester's cargo area, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised because there is a lot of space back here. You're going to have 35 cubic feet behind the second row seats, and that expands to 76 cubic feet if you fold them. That does make it one of the largest offerings in the entire segment. It's right on par with the largest vehicles, so you're definitely going to benefit from that additional space back here.
On to number 4. This is going to be the Honda CR-V, And some of you guys may be shocked that this comes in at number 4 as opposed to maybe 1 or 2. The reason for that is because it's getting a little bit old. But on the positive side, it has a ton of space, it's super comfortable, and the Honda CR-V just really excels at doing what families need it to do. So that's definitely why it still ranks number 4 despite its age.
This is an incredibly spacious vehicle. I went ahead and got into the back seat because I think this is the best place to demonstrate it. We've had some full-grown adults in here over the course of this week, and everybody that's came into this vehicle has complimented it because check this out. This is behind my driving position. Now, I'm not super tall, but I am 5'8", and as you can see, sitting behind myself, I can fully stretch out. You know, this is just simply not the type of space you expect in a vehicle of this size. Right, and we're getting into the area where all of these are definitely really worth looking at for sure. So let's go ahead and jump to number 3. That's going to be the Nissan Rogue, all new for the 2021 model year. We were really impressed by the Rogue. It has improved leaps and bounds over the outgoing generation. One of our favorite aspects is definitely the cabin. They've really made it very premium. It really stands out against even the best in the segment. And taking a first look inside of this cabin, I have to say it makes a strong first impression. Definitely looks very premium, and it basically sets Nissan onto a whole new course with an entirely new interior design language. Now, once you actually get inside of this cabin, I have to say that the premium looks are definitely backed up with premium materials that definitely exceed the last generation, as well as most things in the class. So, across your upper dash, this is all going to be finished in a soft touch plastic. However, dropping down here to your middle areas, we have a leatherette material that goes all through here with the really nice looking color contrast stitching detail.
And down to number 2. Ooh, drum roll please. It's going to be the Toyota RAV4. Now, don't hate on me in the comment section. We are car reviewers, so number 1, you know, you could probably reverse these 2 depending on what actually matters to you the most. But the RAV4 is such a solid offering. That's why it lands number 2, because it really does everything well. It looks good on the outside. It has a lot of space on the inside. It's a very practical vehicle. You also have the hybrid, which gets 40 miles per gallon and doesn't even cost any more than the regular version. And it's just really a fantastic offering in the segment.
It is. RAV4 really offers something for just about everyone. You even have the Prime to choose from now. Alright, so that was an acceleration up to 60 miles per hour. Obviously, when you put your foot down, you're not going to stay in EV mode for very long. You're going to kick on the gas-powered engine, which is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. When that's combined with your electric motors, your nickel hydride battery pack, you're going to have 219 horsepower, which is actually more power than what you get with the gas-powered model. And indeed, from behind the wheel, it does feel quite quick, really, when you put your foot down. But to conclude here, I think you can probably tell at this point exactly why this sells so many units. Nearly 500,000 last year, and still tons even during this pandemic that we're in. It just has so many positive attributes that are exactly what American families are looking for. And finally, in the pole position, number 1, those of you guys who watch our channel, you probably won't be surprised by this, but we chose the Mazda CX-5. We love so much about that vehicle, not in the least that it drives really just leaps and bounds better than almost anything else in the class. Really stands out in that regard. You've got a powerful turbo engine on a lot of the trim levels, which many of the rivals don't even offer upgrade engines anymore. And then for 2021, the biggest thing we were complaining about was the technology being behind. They upgraded that, gave it the new Mazda infotainment system, which made that such a better experience. So really, we have a lot of praise for the Mazda, that's for sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into what you've been waiting for, this updated infotainment system. So it's a little bit hard to see right now because of the lighting, but we have a brand new 10.25-inch display running Mazda's newest infotainment system. every time I get behind the wheel of one of these things, I am impressed by the power. It just feels so much quicker than you expect that it's going to be, especially straight from the line with all that torque. And let me tell you guys, the biggest and most important thing to someone like us, the driving dynamics. As far as that's concerned, still number one. This class, some of them drive pretty well. Some of them are really not great to drive, but this one here is excellent to drive. You really forget that that brands can make a crossover drive this well. It feels just like the 3 and this Mazda 6. You have excellent body control, really nice tight chassis. The steering, best in class, has a lot of weight and heft, really quick responding. Just an absolute A+ in that regard.
Well guys, that's going to be it for our top picks in the compact SUV segment. Now as you can tell, there's a lot of really competitive offerings in here, so you really can't go wrong with any of them that you choose. However, you know, there are a few that really just stand out in our automotive enthusiast kind of standpoint, which is why the CX-5 and RAV4 were some of our top picks this year. But anyway, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. All it's going to do is give you notifications on all of our most recent content, and we're going to have a lot of it coming up, especially in this segment, so be sure to do that, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.